Hello, students. Good morning. And I think everything is fine. And here again, we are talking about the human brain. So this is very interesting chapter, and I really like to talk about this as much as possible. And throughout my learning career, and also even now, whenever I get time, I go through these chapters. So this is the human brain sagittal section. Sagittal section means the actually if you cut a part then into two halves, then the picture will be like this. And if you are imaging the pictures, then that also will be like this. So imaging or cutting actually is the sagittal section of human brain. So already you have studied a lot about human brain in your earlier classes. You need to know something extra here, right, in class 11. So you already know that cerebrum is the brain, human brain is divided into three parts: forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. And the bulk of the brain is what? Is the cerebrum. It is constituting the forebrain mainly, and thalamus and hypothalamus is also there. So cerebrum, the outer part is cortex, which is comprising of the cell bodies of the neuron. So billions of neurons are there in the brain. So cell bodies are constituting the outer side of the cortex. So they are giving the color, grayish color, and that is why it is called the gray matter in the outer side of the cortex, outer side or the cortex, and in the inner side or the medulla. It is surrounded by the myelin sheaths. The neurons are surrounded by the myelin sheaths. That is why the color is white. So it is called the white matter in the inner side. And this entire cerebrum is divided into two parts by a cleft. Okay, this also you know. But these two halves have to be connected. So which is the part which is connecting these two hemispheres? It is the corpus callosum. It is a sheet of nerve fibers which is connecting these two halves. So this is called the corpus callosum, right? This also you have heard, okay? And your thalamus and hypothalamus is also in the forebrain. So thalamus is this center part, in the center, very small part, which is actually the coordinating center of the motor and sensory communications. So this is the coordinating center. Whatever sensory impulses are coming and motor impulses are being sent back, they are being coordinated at thalamus. So all these different sensations and the response is there controlled by thalamus. And below the thalamus there is a hypothalamus. Below the thalamus, here it is the hypothalamus, which is doing what? Which is controlling the body temperature and also the food and water intake, right? And thalamus, hypothalamus, you already know. And in this part of the hemisphere, in the inner side, there is a system which is called limbic system. Limbic system is having amygdala and hippocampus. Amygdala is a very important point. It is the center of emotions. So emotions, can be applied to other brain's ability also. So amygdala is controlling the emotional part, right? And your hippocampus is also a part of the limbic system, which is the complex part, and the major role is helping in or controlling learning and memory. In the controlling of memory and learning, the hippocampus is having a very important role. So these are there in the limbic system, which is in the inner side of the cerebrum, right? Now we come to the midbrain, that is your thalamus and hypothalamus we discussed, right? And in the inner part we discussed about amygdala and hippocampus. These are the extra information that you need to know. And the other things which you need to know is about the fact that the midbrain, which is the midbrain, it is between the thalamus and hypothalamus, I said, and a canal called the cerebral aqueduct. Cerebral aqueduct runs through this midbrain, and the dorsal portion of the midbrain consists of mainly 4 round swellings, which are the corpora quadrigemina. Corpora quadrigemina are the 4 swellings which are there at the dorsal side of the midbrain. So midbrain is the space between the thalamus and hypothalamus, and cerebral aqueduct, the canal is running. Which is the cerebral aqueduct? This is the cerebral aqueduct which is running through the midbrain, right? And at the dorsal side there are 4 swellings. There are some swellings which are known as corpora quadrigemina. 4 round swellings are there at the dorsal side of the midbrain, which are known as corpora quadrigemina. So I repeat these terms because these are the additional information that you need to know in class level. And students, then we come to the hindbrain, which is comprising of pons, cerebrum and medulla, right? Pons, as you know, is the structure which is communicating with or connecting all the parts of the brain. So it is known as the bridge, and cerebellum is the part at the back of the brain, and it controls the body balance. You know, the different postures of the body, balance is maintained because of the cerebellum. In different postures of the human body, while walking, sitting, standing, the body balance is maintained, and cerebellum is responsible for this, right? Okay, and then medulla. Medulla is actually medulla oblongata, which is responsible for controlling all the involuntary actions or function in the body. Heartbeat, the muscle movement in the stomach, and the flow of blood in the vessels. Do we have any direct control? No. It is controlled by the medulla oblongata. All the involuntary functions, right? So this is the hindbrain. Anything extra that we need to know, we must take into account. Okay, in the different structures of the brain. 3 major regions make up the brain stem and midbrain. Brain stem, midbrain, pons and medulla oblongata. There are 3 major regions, which are the brain stem, which are the regions that are making the brain stem. They are midbrain, pons and medulla oblongata. They are making the brain stem. Brain stem forms the connections between the brain and the spinal cord, and this is the brain stem, which is connecting the brain with the spinal cord. So students, I think this is enough for the structures of the human brain and their functions also. So with this I am ending this chapter here, and we'll come back with some other important portions in my next video. Till then, goodbye and thank you very much. God bless you all.